Hannah Arendt, a German-born Jewish American philosopher who took a refuge in the United States after Nazis took over the Germany, and she is Hannah Arendt is a very important political theorist and to some extent a very important scholar in the 20th century, and uh, at least her scholarship points that out, if not her personality. And Hannah Arendt, if you uh, have are familiar with Hannah Arendt, then you would know that she wrote a major works. Her major works are Origins of Totalitarianism, which she wrote in I think in early 50s, which when totalitarianism was at its peak, and she wrote about human condition, and those are the work. So human condition was the other scholarship of her, and I mean a book in her scholarship, or the work in her scholarship, and the major work that she was known, and she's certainly known in today's time, is because of that work, and that work was Eichmann in Jerusalem, a report on banality of evil. With this book, Hannah Arendt explained the concept of banality of evil, the trivial, how evilness can be trivial, because evil is as a society we think of evil. Evil is something that is very distinctive, very conspicuous, and something that we can spot on, because but writing about because she attended the trials of Adolf Eichmann. Eichmann was this German war criminal who flew Germany and went to Argentina. He was seized from Argentina and was brought back to Israel for the trials for the crimes he committed against the Jewish people during the Nazi period in Germany. And she writes about that. It's certainly because she attended the trial of him in 1961 when the trial was going on, and she certainly thinks that, and that's what her book says. That's what her work says, is that points out that we certainly uh, because Eichmann more or less was a war criminal. Okay, you nobody's denying that, but she's saying that he's not he's not that monstrous or fanatic. Even he was just driven by the commands or the orders he was getting from authorities, uh, um, and he was just thoughtless, or driven by career, or something to please the authority. He was just doing his you know and but he was a war criminal. Okay, so she points out that the evil could be very trivial. It's not very distinctive, and especially in our modern society, it's not very distinctive. And and uh, and if you're familiar with the criminology, and then you would know that even criminology takes into account the psychology, uh, and the psychiatry and the psychoanalysis in its judgment. But that was the one book that she wrote, and her work pointed out, explained the concept of that person who commit crimes are not necessarily evil, but they are just in that position to commit the crime. And uh, uh, and certainly and certainly Jewish people were not happy with that work, and she faced a lot of criticism about the book and her work, and certainly about this one. And she said that she was not against the trial of Eichmann, or him being sentenced to death or anything like that. She's just seeking the truth. What is the real reason behind this person become this greatest war criminal in the history. And she certainly points that out, uh, that mundane reasons could be causes for being evil. And suddenly one don't one has not one doesn't have to be a ideologue to commit those crime. One just was was this person who was more or less thoughtless, or driven by career so much that he took the order from the authority and committed the crime he committed, and eventually he faced uh, sentence for it, and sentence was death penalty. And so she points that out, that so she's the one who came up with the concept of banality evil, and the whole concept of banality of evil was explained around the personality of Adolf Eichmann.